Mindful Life Practice Community.
Let's do some yoga. All right, so join me in a comfortable seated shape. If you prefer a different seat than the one that I'm taking, then I invite you to take that now. Otherwise, take an easy seat, one ankle crossed in front of the other. Maybe rock a little side to side, moving any fleshy areas out of the way so that you can get really grounded on your mat. And then come to your breath without any expectation or any attempts to change it, just kind of noticing where you are in the world, where you are in your body, where you are in your mind, where you are in your emotions as we begin this practice today. And perhaps your palms are face down in a gesture of grounding, or face up in a posture of receiving. Just where do they naturally want to be right now? And just notice what pops up for you just naturally, and honor where you are today. On the next exhale, maybe you can imagine your shoulders starting to sink down towards the floor and get a little heavier as you lengthen up through your upper body, through your spine, through the top of your head. Like part of your body is trying to float through the ceiling or the sky, and the other part is trying to keep you grounded on the floor. And if you're in the spirit of setting an intention today, then I invite you to do that now. And if nothing immediately floats to mind, perhaps you just choose presence and being in the moment, honoring and appreciating this community that we have all become so fond of. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath, just as you are, in any way that comes naturally to you. And then take 3 more that are intentionally just a little bit deeper, perhaps even inhaling through the nose and making a nice audible sigh of relief as everything that you've been holding on to throughout the day, throughout the week, just floats off and out into some other space. And at the bottom of your next exhale, can you relax your hands down to your side? Maybe your fingertips just gently caress the mat. And then if your eyes are closed, maybe you take a moment to slowly blink them open, taking a moment to take in any light that may be around you. And then at the bottom of the next exhale, you inhale and lift your arms up towards the sky, maybe allowing the fingertips to touch. And then exhale, opening the hands out to the side and bringing them back down to the mat. Inhale to lift, bring fingertips to touch. Exhale, flip the palms out and bring the fingertips back down to the mat. And one more time, just like that. Inhale to lift. And exhale to lower. Leaving the left fingertips where they are, can you inhale the right hand up and over towards the right side? It's taking a moment to pause and notice anywhere you may be feeling that sensation. Left arm can be bent or straight, perhaps even walking the fingertips out a little and seeing if you can, if your body wants to bend a little further. And then inhale, both hands up to the sky, and allow the right fingertips to drop while you drift over to the right side. Maybe noticing whether or not this side feels similar to or different from the other side, and maybe not thinking about anything at all. Inhale, both hands up to the sky. Let's allow the left fingertips to drop one more time as we fold over towards the left. And inhale, the fingers up to the sky and fall over towards the right. I'll take that one more time each side with one slight change. Just leaving your right hand where it is. Can you turn your torso towards the mat? Just noticing any sensations that you may be feeling as you do that. And if that sensation is a yes, just go with it. If it's a no, return to your original shape. If it's a maybe, maybe you play with the direction. Take one more round of breath here, and then we'll take that on the other side with the same options, just noticing how you feel along the way with no judgment, no efforts to change anything unless your body is telling you that it wants something different, and then honor that. Inhale, both hands up towards the sky and stretch really long, like you're reaching for the sky. And then exhale, fingertips down towards the mat. From here, let's drop the left ear towards the shoulder. And take an inhale here. And then perhaps lifting the hand up and place it on the right side of the head, offering a little bit of weight to give yourself a little, what is part of the body is this neck stretch here. And then inhale to release and drop the ear down to the right side. Lifting the right hand up and taking it over on the left side of the head, if that is what you're in the spirit to do right now. And inhale to return the head to center. One round of breath, or two if you need a little more. And then can you drop your chin towards your chest, leaving your shoulders where they are and just noticing how that feels. And if the answer is no, that's totally okay. Do what feels good. And then inhale and tilt your chin up towards the sky. Exhale, lower chin to chest. Again, just noticing. Inhale and tilt the chin up towards the sky. Exhale, chin to chest. And then this time, allow your spine to kind of roll with it. So you take this variation of seated cat cows and feel free to leave your fingertips on the mat or lift your fingers and bring them to the outside of your knee and make this as pronounced or as subtle as a movement as your body is craving right now. And I invite you to take any other movements that feel organic to you in this moment. And so if that's a circular motion, then I invite you to take that. If you take circles, maybe make sure that you do it in both directions. And cat cows are totally perfect. Just take a few more rounds of breath in whatever you've chosen, and then return to stillness in the center for just a few rounds of breath in any way that feels nourishing to you right now. And then when you're ready, in any way that makes sense to you, meet me in all fours in this tabletop shape. And this tabletop shape, your feet may be flat or your toes may be tucked. Maybe play with both just to see which one is calling to you today. And then what is your body calling for right now? Is it cat cows? If so, let's lift the hips and open the chest up towards the front of the mat. And then exhale to curl everything down and around. Inhale, lift. And exhale to lower. And taking a few more rounds of that, or perhaps shifting your hips from side to side, allowing your hips to fall in one direction while your head goes in the opposite direction. Notice what your hands are doing. Are your fingers spread wide, or are they closer together? Which option allows you the stability that you need in order to do what you need to do or want to do in this pose? Take one more round of breath. And then how would it feel to bring your toes to touch and bring your knees wide, walking your hands forward and sending your hips back for a child's pose? Maybe allowing your forehead to rest on the mat, maybe rocking it from side to side, and give your forehead a little massage. And we can make this a really passive child's pose and just allow everything to get heavy and relax down towards the mat. Or we can make it a little more active by coming up onto the fingertips and walking the hands forward while we send the hips backwards in space. Just noticing how that feels. Appreciating whichever choice you made and the reasons why. Let's take one more complete round of breath in whatever you've selected. And then when you're ready, can you lift just slightly, head and chest off the mat, just high enough to thread the left hand underneath the right armpit. Maybe coming up onto the right fingertips and walking the fingertips forward, or maybe even experimenting and walking the fingertips over towards the left side of the mat. And just noticing if that offers you anything this morning or this afternoon. Palm of the left hand maybe facing up towards the ceiling. And then stay there. If you're so inspired, lift the right hand up towards the sky and bring the back of the hand to the left hip crease. And maybe come a little further onto the left side of your head or your shoulder and open your right shoulder and chest up towards the right side. Take one more round of breath. And then if your right arm is behind the back, extend it long. Coming up onto the fingertips to give yourself some space to remove the left hand. And then stretch, stretch, stretch. At the bottom of the next exhale, come up onto the left palm or the left fingertips, just giving yourself a little bit of space so that you can thread the right arm underneath, bringing the right side of the head down to the mat. And perhaps walking the left fingertips forward or over towards the right side of the mat. Just noticing anywhere that you may be feeling that sensation and honoring whether or not that's a yes, and vacating that choice if your body tells you that it's a no today. And then staying there or lifting the left hand up and behind the back. Bringing the right hip crease or bringing the left hand to the right hip crease and opening across the shoulder and the chest. One more complete round of breath. And then if you brought the left hand behind the back, let's return it to its original position. Come up onto the fingertips of the palm and give ourselves some space and return to this child's pose and walk the fingers forward. Send the hips back. And then at the bottom of the next exhale, let's walk the hands back towards the knees and bring the knees in towards one another. Tuck the toes if they're not already tucked. Let's spread the fingers nice and wide. Stack the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees. And then lift your hips up towards the sky for downward facing dog. I invite you to take this downward facing dog in stillness or in movement, whatever that means for you. And so that may be alternating one heel down to the mat and then the other, or shifting the hips from side to side, keeping a generous bend in the knee to alleviate any sensation that you may be feeling with this early down dog. For many of us, it's the first one of the day. Take one more round of breath, and then how would it feel to step the right foot out towards the right and the left foot out towards the left, bending at the knee, and walk the hands back towards the feet. And just kind of hang out here in this forward fold, wide-legged style. And maybe you take this forward fold in stillness, or maybe you experiment with the weight distribution in your foot and allow yourself to rock forwards and backwards while maintaining your balance on your fingertips. Or you may lift the hands and grab opposite elbows and just allow your body to get heavy. And maybe even swaying from side to side and just noticing how that feels. Take one more round of breath. And then if you are holding opposite elbows, release the elbows, bring the fingertips down to the mat. And can you inhale, tracing the calves, or what are these, the shins with the fingertips to come up to a halfway lift. And then exhale, relax down towards the mat. Inhale, tracing the shins for a halfway lift. Back is flat, if you can see that. Head is lengthening towards the top of your mat. And then exhale to release. Inhale one more time, allowing the fingertips to trace the shins, pausing in this half lift. Exhale to fold back down to the mat. It's 2 rounds of breath here. And at the bottom of the next exhale, using your fingertips to kind of balance you, can you heel toe your feet back in so that they're about hips width, distance apart? And then walk your hands forward for downward facing dog. Once again, taking this downward facing dog in stillness or in movement, you decide. 2 complete rounds of breath in whatever way you've chosen. And then when you're ready, turn your gaze between the hands and bend at the knee, bringing your knees down to the mat. Spread your knees wide, bring your toes into touch, and sink down into the floor for child's pose. Making that an active child's pose or a passive one, you decide. What is your body craving right now? And then while you take a few rounds of breath and notice once again your body, your energy, your thoughts,